Good morning. I'm an addict named Austin. I got clean here in Abilene, Texas, October 19, 2014. It is cold AF this morning. I got on here to read the just for today with y'all. February 19th, Reservations. Relapse is never an accident. Relapse is a sign that we have a reservation in our program. A reservation is something we set aside for future use. In our case, a reservation is the expectation that if such and such happens, we will surely relapse. What event do we expect will be too painful to bear? Maybe we think if a spouse or a lover leaves us, we will have to get high. Or if we lose our job, surely we think we will use. Or maybe it's the death of a loved one that we expect to be unbearable. In any case, the reservations we harbor give us permission to use when they come true, as they often do. We can prepare ourselves for success instead of relapse by examining our expectations and altering them where we can. Most of us carry within us a catalog of anticipated misery closely related to our fears. We can learn how to survive pain by watching other members live through similar pain. We can apply their lessons to our own expectations. Instead of telling ourselves we will have to get high if this happens, we can quietly reassure ourselves that we too can stay clean through whatever life brings us today. Just for today, I will check for any reservations that may endanger my recovery and share them with another addict. And so I'm reading this, and I wish that I could tell you I came in here and getting clean and working a program in Narcotics Anonymous was my main focus, right? But that's just not the truth. So when I got here, this was just a stop on the way back to prison, right? I didn't think that I was going to get out of going back to prison, and I didn't think that recovery would ever really work for me, or that I would work a program, right? And so when I got here, my spirit came back to life. There was a hope shot. I saw some people, and I started thinking, man, this would be nice if this worked in my life. And then I started working the program, and I'm just going to be really honest. There was a part of me, I knew at the time I couldn't, but there was a part of me like, man, 10 years down the road from now, like I'm probably going to smoke a joint again, right? I'm just to be really honest. And I remember that was a reservation that I had. I was one of those people too that couldn't imagine, my grandmother was one of the main one that got me to a place where I was willing to come to treatment, right? She was one of the most amazing women in my life. And I thought if I ever lost her, I didn't know what I would do. And what I can tell you is that after I was 3 or 4 years clean when she passed, she went to the hospital. She was in there for a while, and I got to go there and be a part of that. I got to be there with her. Man, I slept on the couch next to her in the hospital room, and her kids were there, which is my mom and my aunts and my uncles. And they were struggling. They were having a hard time with it. That's their mother, you know what I mean? And for the first time in my life, I got to be present and be the rock for people that had always been my rock, right? And so what I thought was going to take me out actually helped bring recovery to life for me, and it would help my process of restoration. Man, it just and there's been other things, like we've lost some friends in recovery. I lost my dad last year on July 5th, and I was there laying next to him when he passed. And so those are things that you would think take you out, but in reality, it made me grateful to be able to be present and be there with them, because if I was using, it would have just made that 10 times worse. And so I'm grateful for this program that I'm able to show up and I'm able to be a part of people's life, even in the hardest moments in life. There's some things that I've had to deal with personally, right? Some traumas and some stuff like that I didn't think I would ever deal with or want to walk through or go through. And on the other side of it, I'm grateful that I came to Narcotics Anonymous and it got me to that place where I could walk through those things. I'm able to mature a little bit, man, emotionally, spiritually, right? The program took me back to God, and God used the program to walk me through these things. There's different types of reservations, right? There's always that ongoing joke at different places, like, what would you do if you won the lottery? Like, my answer is always, probably overdose. And like, just because that's not the truth necessarily, but man, I have a life that's great today, and I don't need to win the lottery. I don't need, man, I have a life that's better than if I won the lottery. And I know money make a lot of things better, but for somebody like me, I have some awareness of what's going on in my life. And so, I can get rid of these reservations as they come up in my life. And what I want to say is, just because you have a reservation, if you're still clean working a program, it doesn't mean you're going to get high. It means you're going to have to deal with it at some point. Just like as far as believing at some point I'm going to smoke again. I know now today I can't do one or a little bit of anything. I get carried away with just simple stuff, right? That isn't mind-changing, mood-altering substances. And so I'm able to look at these reservations that I have in my life and think them through and realize I can't do these things. So I'm grateful for Narcotics Anonymous. I have a realistic outlook on life today. I know what I can and can't do. I have a little bit of humility. I know who I am and who I'm not, right? And I'm okay with who I am today. So all those reservations, and the biggest one was, is this never going to work for me, right? It'll work for everybody else, but it'll never work for me. And God had bigger plans, man. He's using me, and that gets me out of myself and makes me grateful for the life I get to live today. Thank y'all for tuning in. Try to stay warm out there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.